Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Matthew Shack, live here in Los Angeles. Welcome to Matthew Shack Unfiltered. Breaking news. The Washington Commanders have a head coach, and his name is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the former defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, man, and it's looking crazy, man. Looking crazy, man. That NFC West, first things first. NFC East, first things first, man. Salute to the Unfiltered Nation and the Unfiltered fam. What's going on to all y'all out there, man? I'm rolling around, handling business. You know what I'm saying? You see, I'm at the mall, man. I never get a chance to just go do what I got to do. It's like stuff I got to go get. You know, so finally I got an opportunity to, take an hour out of my day to go run, do what I got to do. But then again, do I really have an hour? Because I'm on here with y'all. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do. And then I'm going to continue walking around here to pick up what I got to pick up. But anyway, Dan Quinn is now the head coach of the Washinton Commanders. And the bigger question is what's the Cowboys going to do now? Because the Cowboys, man, they have been very much defensively dependent on Dan Quinn and Michael Parsons, who's one of the best defensive players in the National Football League, definitely had something to say about it. He said that Dan Quinn was his OG. And he said that it goes far beyond football. He looks at him as a father figure and a mentor, and it's definitely going to be something that the Cowboys are going to have to think about. We all know the Commanders. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to them. They got rid of Ron Rivera, fired Ron Rivera last month, end of the season. I thought Ron Rivera got railroaded as a coach. I think Ron Rivera is a good coach. It's always good to have minority coaches in the National Football League, especially Hispanic ones. And I think that every time Ron Rivera gets a job, it's always a crappy job. It's always, it's always a job that nobody can actually go in there and do anything. Before that, he was, he was with the Carolina Panthers when nothing was popping with them. Then he gets the job with the Washington Commanders. And, I just think that what happens with him is that he gets put in, BS jobs. And then when they start lifting their heads up, then that's when they go ahead and get rid of him. And then they bring in somebody else, have him there as a lame duck. But, hey, man, it is what it is, man. You got to know what it is. Okay. But Busby said, per Adam Schefter, Cliff Kingsbury is the Raiders OC. Okay, when I get back to the crib, I will go live. Right now, I'm not at the crib. Okay, I am not at the crib right now. I am running around taking care of some business. But I definitely wanted to come in and chop it up with you guys. I didn't get a chance to do that today. I've been extremely busy with all kinds of stuff. Everything is going down at the same time. I just want to talk about this situation because, for our commander members of the Unfiltered fam over here, we got maybe a couple, maybe a handful, if that, maybe two or three. Dan Quinn has been a head coach before. I'm just trying to remember where he was a head coach previously. I don't know if it was the Falcons or was something like that. But that's going to bring a defensive mentality over to that team. Plus, you're in the same division. So he just did a team jump in the same division. So he's going to know everything that's going on with the Cowboys. Now, you Cowboy cats out there, you know how you guys are. Every year it's your year till it's not. Okay? And it's not your year. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to try to blame Mike McCarthy. Y'all going to try to blame Dan Quinn. Y'all going to try to blame Dak Prescott. Y'all going to try to blame everybody under the sun. But what you're not understanding is Dan Quinn knows that team. Okay? Dan Quinn knows that team. Thanks, Booze. I was right with the ATL. I'm just a damn genius, bro. I don't know how I know stuff. It ain't like because obviously I'm not home. Okay, so I don't know how I knew it was Atlanta, but I figured it was. But it just goes to show you guys that the way that the NFL is actually regurgitating different coaches and putting them in head coach, then they get fired, then it's OC, then it's back to head coach, then it's DC, then it's head coach, then it's back to DC. It's just the same guys, bro. It's the same good old boy network, and the same guys are getting the same jobs. Meanwhile, what about Eric Bieniemy, man? For all y'all who was telling me, hey, Shaq, what do you think about Eric Bieniemy coming over? I'm like, man, why is Eric Bieniemy not getting a head coaching job, bro? What else does the brother need to do? Okay, I know why. All right, it don't really have anything to do with his race. It really has something to do with how he coaches. Okay, and he's definitely a guy who has been railroaded. This man won went to 3 Super Bowls with Kansas City, won 2 out of those 3, goes to the Commanders, and doesn't even get a sniff of a job, and then they go and hire a division rival defensive coordinator. It's like I said before, man, there's a reason why people don't want certain people, bro. There's a reason, okay? So when all you guys ask me, Shaq, what do you think about this guy, and they're readily available, they're floating around, they're not getting interviewed, they're not being talked to, they're not being FaceTimed. There's no reason for you to ask me why don't we consider this person? Because this person is not a hot candidate for the opportunity that's there. It's like Eric Bieniemy is an offensive coordinator until further notice, right? Sad, okay. Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator with the Vikings until further notice. At least Brian Flores had a chance to be a HC with Miami, but he walked around here with his ass on his shoulders being a jerk. Okay, wound up getting not getting the job, and now he wants to sue the NFL. So we'll see how that works out for the brother. Okay, but that's just what it is, man. When you're in the doghouse, you're in the doghouse, man. It's just how it is. Okay, it is what it is. It ain't like you when you're at work, and you're not moving up, and you're being hated on. You can go to another job. But when you in the National Football League, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go to? The USXL or whatever that new league is, UFL. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Go to Canada? Like, it's a one-stop shop. Okay, and Eric Bieniemy, man, he's had. Dr. Van's talking about him when he was at Colorado. I don't even remember him when he was at Colorado. I don't know if he was at Colorado when Rashaan Salam was there. Rest in peace. The Heisman Trophy winner. I don't know if he was there then, but I do know I remember him when he was with the Jets and Eric Bieniemy was a running back. I remember when he was a player, okay, with the Jets. And Eric Bieniemy is one of them type of cats, man, who he doesn't have a good track record, off the field, And then when he was in Kansas City, there was rumblings about him, not really getting along with certain people. And, when you're in that kind of team like them, you got to get along with everybody. Okay. Then he goes to the Commanders. Then he had a couple of dust-ups there with some players, trying to be hard on players. These players they're not your daddy's players. They're not even my players. They're not your uncle's players. These guys do not want nobody to coach them like that. I can say that they don't even want to be coached hard, to be honest. I don't think that these players like to be coached hard, bro. I think certain players like it, okay? But these players don't like to be coached hard, bro. They don't like it, and if you're coaching them hard, they better be liking you and better be fooling with you, okay? So we're going to find out what's going on real quick, man. With all that being said, I'm just very interested to see how the NFC East is going to pan out. The Eagles took a fat ass stinky doo-doo at the end of the year when they were they're 11-1 at one time, and then within 5 weeks they lost like 4 out of 5 and got bounced out. So I don't know what's going on with them. The Commanders ain't nothing really to talk about. The Cowboys, they always got somebody excuse for why they don't succeed. And they look good for a while, and then they wind up doing what they do. And then who else is in that division? The Giants. They got Saquon Barkley's going to be a free agent. What's going on with their quarterback situation? Is Danny DeVito, a.k.a. Tommy DeVito, is he the guy? There's a bunch of things that's going on in that division, man. A bunch of things, bro. Okay. But I'm hearing what you guys are saying about Cliff Kingsbury. I'm going to get on live. I'm just not. As you can see, I wish my house was this big, but then again, I wouldn't want to pay the light bill in here. So I got to run around in here. I don't want you guys to be thinking that I don't know. I know now, but guess what? I still got some things I got to do. Got to run around here, pick up some items for myself. Then I'll head to the crib. Then I'll get on and fool with you guys and talk about what's popping with the OC situation, with the Raiders, and anything else you guys want to talk about, man. Everybody's telling me, Dick Lavender, everyone's telling me about Cliff Kingsbury. But as of now, I just want to come in and talk about Dan Quinn, talk about the Washinton Commanders, talk about what the Cowboys are going to do, talk about how it's going to affect Michael Parsons, because he said it is, and handle my business in this big ass mall. And then when I get home, we'll go live and talk about Cliff Kingsbury, based on what you guys are telling me is not an offensive coordinator. I got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. All right, man, holla at y'all in a little bit, man. Let me get up in here, do what I got to do, man. The chair's comfortable as hell, though. All right, man, I'll holla at y'all in a little bit, man. I'm at the Shack and Filter.